A magical Windsor wedding for Harry and Meghan. It was a magical day in Windsor as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle married in a joyous ceremony at St. George's Chapel. The palace told us to expect a wedding guided by tradition, allowing everyone to celebrate what makes royal weddings so special, but also one which reflects the personalities of Harry and Meghan, a fun and joyful celebration involving members of the public. The royal couple more than delivered on that promise. We saw our first glimpse of the bride this morning when a radiant Meghan made the journey with her mother Doria from the Cliveden House Hotel, where they spent last night. Doria, who affectionately calls her daughter Flower, beamed as they made the journey to Windsor. One can only imagine how proud she must be feeling today. The two enjoy a fantastic relationship. Meghan once said, "We can just have so much fun together, and yet, I'll still find so much solace in her support." That duality coexists the same way it would in a best friend. There is no one Meghan would have wanted to share those moments with more than her mother, and the memory will last a lifetime for both of them. With Prince Harry's connection to the military, it was a given the armed forces would provide support at his wedding. Members of the household cavalry formed a staircase party at St. George's Chapel as part of the wedding. The state trumpeters and a captain's escort from the household cavalry also provided ceremonial support. Streets within the precincts of Windsor Castle were also lined by members of the Windsor Castle Guard from 1st Battalion Irish Guards, and by armed forces personnel units Harry is associated with. The groom and his best man arrived at the chapel's west steps, wearing their blues and royals uniforms, to rapturous applause. The princes looked delighted as they saw the people gathered in the castle precincts. Harry and Meghan asked Lord Lieutenants to invite 1,200 people to join the celebrations, including young people who have shown strong leadership and those who have served their communities. Other guests included 100 pupils from 2 local schools, 610 Windsor Castle community members, and 530 members of the royal household and the Crown Estate. Doria was elegant in a custom dress and décolleté designed by the creative directors of Oscar de la Renta, Fernando Garcia and Laura Kim. Doria's custom hat was designed exclusively for her by British milliner Stephen Jones, whom the palace said Meghan has worked closely with since moving to the UK. The star-studded guest list included Oprah, Serena Williams, Elton John, Idris Elba, members of the Suits cast. George and Amal Clooney were also in attendance. Amal was the best-dressed guest for me. She looked stunning, and Stella McCartney. The Middleton family. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh arriving. It was terrific to see Philip in such good spirits. The Duchess of Cambridge and Jessica Mulroney arrived with the bridal party. Bridesmaid Princess Charlotte looked eager to get started. A stunning arrival from the bride. Our first look at the gown. The bride was accompanied by a bridal party of no less than 10 bridesmaids, and page boys all under 8 years old. The Mulroney twins were on hand to assist with a veil. Adorably attired and impeccably behaved, the group included Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Prince Harry's godson Jasper Dyer, the son of his longtime mentor Mark Dyer. Harry's goddaughters Sally Warren and Florence Van Cutsem. The Van Cutsems have been close friends of the princes since their school days. Meghan's goddaughters Remy and Rylan Litt, the daughters of close friend Juanita Litt from Louisiana, and best friend Jessica Mulroney's twin boys John and Brian and daughter Ivy completed the party. Meghan was met at the choir by Prince Charles. It is said the two have formed a very close bond in recent months, and Charles was honored to walk Meghan down the aisle. A particularly memorable moment was the expression on smitten Harry's face when he greeted Meghan. He turned to her and said, "You look amazing. I missed you." He then said thanks, Pa, to Charles. Harry lifts Meghan's veil. Doria looked so proud and emotional throughout the ceremony. Florist Philippa Craddock did a superb job in creating a floral wonderland inside St. George's Chapel. The displays were created using locally sourced foliage, much of which was taken from the gardens and parkland of the Crown Estate in Windsor Great Park. Philippa used a selection of flowers and plants that are in season and blooming naturally in May, including branches of beech, birch and hornbeam, as well as white garden roses, peonies and foxgloves. The designs reflected the wild and natural landscapes from which many of the plants will be drawn. Miss Craddock described the process as highly collaborative and fun, adding the final result represented them as a couple. It was filled with romantic looks. The service was conducted by the Dean of Windsor, the Right Reverend David Connor. The Most Reverend and Right Honourable Justin Welby, Archbishop of Canterbury, officiated as the couple made their marriage vows. The Most Reverend Michael Bruce Curry, the 27th presiding bishop and primate of the Episcopal Church, gave the address. More from the Mail Online. The Most Rev Bishop Michael Curry, the first African-American presiding bishop and primate of the Episcopal Church, gave an address titled The Power of Love at the service in St. George's Chapel. He opened his speech with the words of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We must discover the power of love, the redemptive power of love. And when we do that, we will be able to make of this old world a new world. Love is the only way." The bishop then added, "There's power in love. Don't underestimate it. Don't even over-sentimentalize. There is power in love." The Episcopal Church is the U.S. offshoot of the Church of England and forms part of the broader Anglican communion. Meghan was baptized into the Anglican Church, which is headed by Harry's grandmother. Bishop Curry told the service, "There's power in love. Love can help and heal when nothing else can. There's power in love to lift up and liberate when nothing else will." Such power could be seen in the service, he continued, saying, "Two young people fell in love and we all showed up." When the time came to choose the venue for their wedding, Windsor was Harry and Meghan's immediate choice. It's a very special place for the couple and they have spent quite a bit of time there since the early days of their relationship. Prince Harry was christened and attended Easter Sunday services there as a child. They cited centuries of tradition and the beautiful grounds surrounding the castle as factors in their decision. More on the castle. Windsor Castle is the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world. Founded by William the Conqueror in the 11th century, it has since been the home of 39 monarchs. Today the Queen spends most of her private weekends at the castle. It is the 16th royal wedding to take place there since 1863. Past brides include Princess Alexandra of Denmark, Lady Helen Taylor, the Countess of Wessex, and most recently Autumn Phillips. St. George's Chapel within the grounds of Windsor Castle is one of the finest examples of Gothic architecture in England. Construction of the present chapel began in 1475 under the reign of Edward IV. When visiting, make sure you look up and admire the stone ceiling, which was added by Henry VII. The chapel is the spiritual home of the Order of the Garter, the senior order of British chivalry established in 1348 by Edward III. Within the chapel are the tombs of 10 monarchs, including Henry VIII and his third wife Jane Seymour, and Charles I. Among the many monuments in the chapel, look out for the spectacular marble memorial by Matthew Wyatt to George IV's only child, Princess Charlotte, who died in childbirth in 1817. Prince Harry's mother, the late Diana, Princess of Wales, will not have been far from his mind throughout the day. It was incredibly important to both him and Meghan to involve his mother in the day, and they were both honored. All three of her siblings were in attendance and asked her sister Lady Jane Fellows to give the reading. The palace said Lady Jane was helping to celebrate the memory of the late princess. Lady Jane Fellows gives a reading from the Song of Solomon #Royalty, Kensington Palace, May 19, 2018. The carefully selected music featured a number of well-known hymns and choral works under the direction of James Vivian, Director of Music at St. George's Chapel. The choir of St. George's Chapel were joined by cellist Shekukana Mason, Karen Gibson and the Kingdom Choir. The orchestra conducted by Christopher Warren Green, soprano Ellen Manahan Thomas, the state trumpeters, David Blackadder and Luke Bond for magnificent performances. Music from Benny King and Etta James featured, including a particularly touching performance of Stand By Me. The palace said, like any couple getting married, Prince Harry and Miss Markle have taken a great deal of care in selecting all elements for their service. This has been a collaborative effort led by Prince Harry and Miss Markle. They have also sought the advice of the Prince of Wales for the orchestral music before the service begins. The vows. The couple commissioned Cleveland & Company to make their wedding rings. The company made Meghan's trilogy engagement ring last year. Meghan's was fashioned from a piece of Welsh gold, gifted by Her Majesty the Queen. Harry's ring is a platinum band with a textured finish. As the couple left, Meghan curtsied to the Queen. Unfortunately, the cameraman just missed it. Their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Time for a kiss. The newlyweds were more than happy to oblige. They both looked utterly overjoyed. As the couple made their way down the steps, the crowd cheered. Members of the royal family and Doria watched on. The Prince of Wales escorts both Doria and Camilla. As the couple stepped into their carriage, they were waved off by family and friends. The carriage procession through Windsor was designed to allow members of the public to see the couple, who traveled in the Ascot Landau carriage pulled by Windsor grey horses. The Cambridges watched the procession. The 25-minute procession saw the newlyweds travel along Castle Hill, the High Street and into Windsor town centre before returning along the beautiful, tree-lined Long Walk for their reception. Well-wishers lined the streets. An overview of the crowds. A sea of British and American flags. As expected, the Queen conferred a dukedom on Prince Harry as a wedding gift. His titles are Duke of Sussex, Earl of Dumbarton and Baron Kilkeel. Harry is the second Duke of Sussex. The first Duke was Prince Augustus Frederick, sixth son of King George III and Queen Charlotte. The dukedom, conferred on him in November 1801, became extinct when he died 42 years later because he had no legitimate issue. Victoria Arbiter noted he campaigned for the abolition of slavery. Meghan is the first Duchess of Sussex. The couple's Scottish title will be the Earl and Countess of Dumbarton. George Douglas, a younger son of the first Marquess of Douglas, was created Earl of Dumbarton in 1675. On the death of the second Earl in 1749 the title became extinct, and until now has not subsequently been granted as a title. Dumbarton, on the north bank of the River Clyde, was a royal burgh between 1222 and 1975. Dumbarton Castle was a royal fortress even before Dumbarton became a royal burgh. Their title in Northern Ireland will be Baron and Baroness of Kilkeel. Kilkeel has never previously been granted as a title. It is a small fishing town on the coast of County Down, below the Mourne Mountains. All baronies have a nomen dignitatis and a territorial designation. The title therefore is Kilkeel and the territorial designation is of Kilkeel in the county of Down. It was fashion's best kept secret, and we were all left surprised to learn Meghan's stunning wedding gown was designed by acclaimed British designer, Claire Waite-Keller. Miss Waite-Keller last year became the first female artistic director at the historic French fashion house Givenchy. The moment Meghan stepped out of the car there was a collective gasp from those I was watching with. The cut, craftsmanship and seamless simplicity is so very Meghan, and she stayed true to her style whilst incorporating every consideration for her new role and position.